Cupcakes! Welcome to Just Cakes. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome and don't leave without subscribing. If you are a returning subscriber, then welcome back. Welcome to episode 7 of Just Isolate. Guys, share the hashtag, share the videos, like. On today's episode, we are doing Book Club Thursday. So I just thought today would be really fun just to recommend a couple of books that I've read or that I have thought are just generally good reads. And I was just thinking, we've got so much time on our hands. Getting your hands on a good book, downloading it via PDF would be amazing, and just getting through it in these 21 days, guys, enrich your minds. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. I've got the books right here, and the order basically of a review is just how they stack up. So the first book we're going to be looking at is Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code. So guys, this must be one of my favorite reads. I really love this book because I love a good timeless book, like a great reread. Like when songs have really good replay value? Yeah, this book has amazing reread value, if there's such a thing. I've read this book, the first time I read this book was I was probably about 12, and I've read it over and over again. I'm sure I've gone over it about 4 times. I tend to do that. And every time I've read it, it's been a completely new experience. So this book is set in Paris, and it's basically about a guy who is in Coda, and he goes on a thrilling adventure with another woman. They basically research the death of someone, like a tragic death that happens around them, but it's a very mysterious death. It's filled with lots and lots of research, lots of references to things like the Holy Grail, Mary Magdalene, Jesus. This book is a big learning curve, although it's fictional. There are a lot of controversial opinions and just things that really offended a lot of people, Christian, Catholic, etc. It really explores a very different view on things, but a great book nonetheless. Amazing to read. Every time I read this book, I always pick up something different, and I'm like, oh shucks, I didn't remember that happened. There's so much detail in it, and it also just really sparks your mind. It's very intriguing. So after you read it, you're like, oh no, I want to know more about this, or I want to know more about the divine feminine. That really is something that's hugely discussed in this book as well. So yeah, this is an amazing book to read. And if you're someone who likes the thrillers, who likes a deep storyline, something that will it's a chase. So if you're someone who likes that kind of read, then this is definitely the book for you. Next on the line is, oh guys, actually this is amazing. So as much as I put the books in order of size, this is probably my favorite book. Yeah, so this and then Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code is literally my second favorite book. The Secret, Rhonda. Whew. Guys, I read this book, I think I was probably around 11, 12 as well. This book is filled with such amazing secrets, such amazing tools. This literally tells you the power of your tongue. That is the main message in this book. The power of your tongue, the power of your thoughts. More so the power of your thoughts more than your tongue, actually, because your thoughts are what you speak, and what you speak is what becomes. And that is basically the message in this book. After I read this book, it really shaped my life in the sense that I started to think so differently. I literally just started, this is also a self-help book, by the way, but this book really helped me to just think differently. My gran has a copy, and that's where I originally got it, but I actually bought it for my mom about a month ago. I thought this is really a book that she should read, just to help mindset when you're starting new things in your life. So guys, this book is amazing for a change and shift of energy in your head. If you feel like you need a powerful book that's just really going to motivate you and help you think differently, if you're one of those people where your head or your thoughts, you have anxious thoughts and everything that you think is always more negative, or that's what stops you from doing certain things, this is the book for you. Great self-help book. Amazing. I'm not going to tell you the secret, but really great secret in this book. They also have a page on Instagram that I would recommend that you follow after reading the book. Yeah, follow that page, and it just helps to reinstill, re-emphasize all the things that you learn from this book. This is really, it's not one of those self-help books that says, oh, do this, every whatever, you should be doing this and do that. It's a nice flow. There are some stories in it. Some are fictional, some are non-fictional, I think, but This is a nice, easy book, quick book. You can really finish it in 2 days, I would say. But such an important read. I would say that everyone should read this book at least once in their lives. This is even a book that I would revisit. I'm hoping to revisit it when my mom is done. So yeah, that is The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. The third book. Now this is for my more, my naughtier subscribers, my grown subscribers. Ooh, there's a bookmark in here. This is for my, just my subscribers that like to read, nice things. So this is a sequel to 50 Shades. This is basically Grey himself's perspective. So 50 Shades of Grey is a fiction storyline just about a guy who's very distraught and I guess I don't want to give too much away, but he is in pain and cold. And he meets a girl. It's just very awkward and they make a great fit, but there is a lot of surprises in this book. There's a lot to learn about dominance and subdominance, and it's really one of those sexy playful books. This is not for children. Not for persons under the age of 18. If you're not like sexually mature in your thinking, then you should definitely not be reading something like this. Not for sensitive readers. So Grey explores the views of Christian Grey, who is the lead male character in the book, and this is all from his perspective. So I would say that this book actually comes straight after 50 Shades of Grey, the book, the first book. So there's 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, and then 50 Shades Freed. If you're one of those people who loves to get into like, a good sequel and, follow a storyline that takes you into like 3-4 books, like your Harry Potters, your Twilights, your Game of Thrones. And if you want something just a bit lighter, then this is definitely a great recommendation for you. This is really one of those great novel series. So go through it, enjoy it. Really, you can get really buried in the story, and I think that's what I loved about it. I've probably read this book 2 times, and I've read the whole 50 Shades series. I'm sure I've read it 3 times, each book. So there's definitely something great and light to get into, and just something to, spark your mind and get your creative juices flowing. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. The next book is Bear by Jackie Phamotse. So this book is proudly South African, written by Jackie Phamotse, who, if you do not know, is one of the girls who she's an activist for lack of a better way of putting it, she's really just an activist for girls who are into the blesser life and really just coming out of it. This book is basically all about the Johannesburg game of blessers, the blessers game, how it runs, all the people who are involved. She really exposes, some intense things like the hockey club. Guys, this book is hectic. It is a bit of a slow read to get into, I would say, compared to the other 3 books that I've given so far. But this book is really, once you really get into the depth of it, about halfway through, it's a long introduction of her life. But I think it is important to really understand where someone who would become, a blessee, how they grew up, what they thought, because I don't think it's something that you just choose to become, in 3 months. It's really like a process. There's a lot of background. So I think that's why it was so important to give background in the beginning of this book. But as you go, you realize how easily people fall into this kind of thing. And if you're, if you're living that kind of life, then girl, good for you. But if you're not, and you're just really interested in knowing how that all works, and if you are and you just want to get out of it, guys, this book could give you strength. So yeah, I just thought that this was one of those books that really opened my eyes to a lot of things, especially in the streets of Johannesburg, but it can really happen to you anywhere. The blesser game is all over the world, but this book is basically all about that. It is sort of a biography. She does tell her own story, but it is told in a fictional way, in the sense that it's a nice, easy read. It's an actual story and not just her telling you the things that happened in her life. So this is a great book to read. This book is not available in PDF, if I'm not mistaken. I did try to look for it in PDF for free. I did not find it, so eventually, luckily, my mom had the copy, so I just stole hers, which I'm going to return, Mom. So that is Jackie Pamudze, South African written. Google her, go on YouTube, watch some of her interviews just to get a vibe and to see if you'll be interested in this kind of thing. Last but not least, this is one of those books that I have heard too much of. This is the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. So I actually bought this book recently. I have not started reading it as yet. This is the 5 a.m. Club. This book is a self-help book. Now, I'm not good with self-help books. I hate self-help books, but I really thought that this book is such an important book when you get into a different... I think actually it's not even just about getting into a different space in your life. I think that if I was in varsity, I probably should have read this book. If I was in high school, it would still be a good book to read. You know, starting out your career, this is also a good book to read. This book, basically, from what I've heard, is the secrets to having a good morning routine. Essentially, this is about the habits of the most successful people, the amount of time they sleep, what they do when they wake up, and I assume that it's basically about the benefits of waking up at 5 a.m., the kind of habits that you can build from that, from having a fuller day. I think this book probably has really, really good habits in it, which I'm hoping to adopt. I've heard really, really great things about this book, and Bumi Ladwaba speaks about this book a lot. You know, she's done the 5 a.m. Club thing. It's a well-known concept amongst people in the whole world. Actually, I was going to say amongst influencers, but actually just throughout the whole world. So this is a book that I'm really, really keen to read. If you guys want to get into the 5 a.m. Club, it's still early in the year. You know, you guys can really change your mind, get into those habits now in these 21 days. Like I said in my first video, 21 days is a great amount of time to develop good habits. So I'm actually going to start reading this book now. My dad is actually reading it as well. I'm going to read it after him, and yeah, I will let you know. Maybe I'll do a review on the 5 a.m. Club, just because of all these books, it's the only one I have not read. So yeah, guys, if you guys are keen to read a book, you know, let me know what books you're reading. If you guys are keen to share, in the comments section, just let me know what books you are reading, or other books that are, you know, really great recommendations. I know that sometimes you feel like, oh, I really want to read a book, but I don't know what book to read. And sometimes it's great hearing it from someone that you trust, like, oh, I like this person. If they like this book, you know, I would trust their opinion. So I hope your girl Cakes got you covered. So most of these books you can actually get in PDF. The 5 a.m. Club you can get Grey. I think it's possible that you can get Grey in PDF. The Secret, definitely a book you can get in PDF. And the Da Vinci Code really should be one of those. I do really enjoy reading a physical book. If you can't go to your local library once the lockdown's done, if that doesn't work, then try PDF, guys. Paperless is the future, apparently. But I do enjoy the smell of a good book. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my recommendations as well, and I hope you'll use them. Now moving on to my favorite segment, as you all know, verse of the day. Today's verse of the day is 1 Timothy verse 6, and it reads, "As for the rich in this present world, instruct them not to be conceited and arrogant, nor to set their hope on the uncertainty of riches, but on God, who richly and ceaselessly provides us with everything for our enjoyment." Now, I just wanted to share that because I think sometimes we're, especially, guys, everything is about this time. I realize that every time after I read a verse, I'm always like, especially in this time. But genuine, guys, especially in this time, you know, it's so important to realize how we're so locked in and engrossed by all these riches that we have, and how we're able to explore our riches with the freedom that we have, freedom of movement, that being, you know, right now we're not able to go on those fancy lunches and, you know, all those things. So you really have to sit down with yourself and think, like, who am I outside of, you know, my Instagram feature popping? You don't have content to shoot right now unless you're going to prepare yourself, you know, a great, amazing restaurant looking meal in your house. But yeah, guys, you don't have the luxuries of traveling right now and really showing your riches and being conceited. You know, you don't really have the time or the space and the range to do that right now. So it's really important just to focus on God in this time, and don't focus on your riches and don't become arrogant in them, because in a time like this you'll sit and you'll have nothing. You know, God really gives us those things for our enjoyment, but not for them to consume us and for them to, you know, just make us arrogant in our lives. So I really think it's important just in this time, come back to God, you know, think about what it is that you enjoy about your life, you know, that He has given you, and be thankful for those things, and enjoy your family, enjoy your peace, enjoy your space without all these things of the world. You know, all we're seeing, the only contact we have to the things of the world right now is our phones. But everyone's really, you know, putting out content of them being normal, guys. People are sitting in their houses, you know, people are being very normal now, and building a beautiful home, if those are the kind of riches that you have right now, be thankful to God. You know, if that's what you have to show for your riches, then that's really beautiful. But building a beautiful home and being in it by yourself with not even God, think about that. So I really hope that gives you guys some perspective and something to think about. Thank you guys so much for interacting with me. Thank you for all the comments I've been receiving. Thank you for all the likes I've been getting. I really appreciate all your support. Don't forget to stay at home. I know it's getting boring now and you're like, okay, how can I beat the system? But do not, guys, stay at home. Go to the shops literally if you need to. Don't forget to sanitize. Don't forget to wash your hands 55,000 times for 2 minutes. Maybe not 2 minutes, for 20 seconds. Sing your happy birthday. Go in there, and love you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow for episode 8. Guys, see inside, see online. We are doing this thing. We're here 21 days of quarantine. It's been real. It's been amazing. I love you guys. See you tomorrow.